Well, welcome back.
Oh, sorry.
I think where we left off, you were about to go play tennis somewhere.
Yes.
Somewhere special.
Yes.
What's been going on since then?
So I ended up, well, I guess first start off, I was working on getting sponsorship to be able to have rackets, and I was working on sponsorship with Vocal, and you know, thank goodness.
Hiding back there.
Yeah, he's hiding back over here, and
Right there.
this is what Just the Dips did for me. But yeah, they ended up giving me rackets, a bag, and some grips. You know, everything that I needed. You know, to play tournaments and things like that. So and train, excuse me. So I got that out of the way, and you know, honestly, now that the tournament's over, I was very apprehensive to practice. I had entered into a different tournament that was going to take place before, and that was Texas Regional Games. So, but well, I guess so those tournaments kind of came up out of nowhere, and I ended up doing the Texas Regional Games, which a couple of weeks prior to playing that tournament, I had hurt my calf, and I was kind of a little scared with it because it was pretty bad, strained it pretty bad, and luckily it healed, and maybe it was about a month before Texas Regional Games. But by the time I got to that tournament, which was in April, I was pretty healed. I was good to go. And
Good.
But again, I hadn't practiced because I was scared. I was scared to get hurt again. But I made it out there, and I believe it was my first match, tennis match. I played against Mike Marsh, and he, I ended up winning the first set, and I think either in the first set or the early second set, I hurt my calf. I just went for a ball a little bit and hurt my calf, and I went down, and you know, it was a frustrating moment, but took me a little bit. I ended up getting back up, and I ended up winning that match. After that, I actually went to go swim. We'll come back to that.
Swimming.
Yes. But the next day I had two matches, and I won both of those. Ended up getting gold in Texas Regional Games for tennis.
Congrats. That's cool.
So moving on from that, I was still now apprehensive more about practicing and really testing my limits on what I could do on the court, because I just hurt my calf now 2 different times. And so I took it real easy. I mean, it's not that I didn't train. I just took it easy and did, you know, normal things. And, you know, this where the swimming comes in. I swam. That was my training. I swam 3 days a week. And so ended up leaving to the Italy tournament, which I think I had left on the 17th of June. Got there. I mean, it was, the flight was so long, but it was neat for me. So it was interesting the whole way. I had to go to Germany first, and then to Turin.
Before we get to the tournament, though, let's back up to getting there.
Yes.
So after you left here last time, you were starting on a fundraising campaign to raise your money to go to this tournament.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, because we see some of it's falling off the table, and some of it's behind us.
There we go.
Sorry, Jason, but of course there's no scratch because it's quality work from Just the Dips.
I know, and I beat these things up. I mean, whenever I play with them, I mean, they're right here on my leg, so they get hit. If I fall, if my leg falls, and we all know that happens.
Just put it right here.
So yeah, no, the sponsors. I was looking any which way to get it. If people wanted to put their business on my car, my car has Deadleg license plate. You know, it's. By the way, this is Deadleg.
Deadleg, welcome Deadleg to the podcast. His first ever podcast.
But so yeah, you know, hey, if you want to put something on my car, no problem. We can work something out. didn't really know what I was doing because it was the first time trying to raise funds to do something, and I didn't want to ask for money. It's very hard for me to ask for money, which is why I started doing the Deadleg thing, where it was early February. That's what kind of it got my mind on what I could do to give back, what I could do to help out. Well, this paperweight over here is worth nothing anymore. I mean, it is dead and it's useless. So why don't I walk around town with it? And I live in New Braunfels, so I just got that leg and I started walking around town, and I would take pictures at strategic places, just a place that I saw, and I'm like, hey, well, this one looks cool. I would take a picture more candid, so it's like you could just see the leg plus a little bush over here in a pot.
Yep.
And so then I would take a out wide picture of the business plus the leg, and it was usually I would walk around it during the day, and then whenever I was doing this part, it would be at night. So it's at night, and some of these stores might have seen me creeping around, taking pictures,
hiding a prosthetic.
Right. So I took the picture, and then there was a person on Facebook. Let me back up. I believe the name was Chris. They had kind of, when I was posting pictures of businesses, I did that at first. Chris had said, why don't you do like a Where's Waldo type thing? And I'm like, okay. And immediately it was going to take a picture at some place, some business. It was dark, took a picture in New Braunfels. And I posted it on Wednesday, and it was called Where's Deadleg Wednesday? And so at first it was just, hey, you get to guess, and like, you won. I didn't really know what to do, and I forget if it was a shirt to begin with. I think it was a shirt to begin with. And
one of these?
I was using, it was more, these have gotten a lot different. But so you would win a shirt, and people started guessing on where it is. And what I would try to do at that time was I would give random hits to pinpoint what location. It's morphed just like the shirts. Shirts were a more generic. I mean, it was the same back kind of, and then the front was I found Deadleg. Up here, Micah Petrie. He's the one that was kind of helping me with that, and he got me a bunch of shirts, so it was really neat. But so we kind of morphed everything. I've had some more fun with things, and realized I can get the business involved. And so I would start talking with the business more before posting. Be like, hey, give me some facts about your business that, like, maybe most people won't know. Like, if you serve this and people don't know that, but that's something you really want to get out there. If you're whatever it is, you can let your mind go and you can do that. And then you send those to me, and then I will kind of take them and put them in order of try to make it hard at first, important things that they would like, and then the easier stuff towards the end. And then if it hasn't been guessed yet, then I find a way to make it very easy. So the business,
it's kind of like the geocaching of today, but with prizes instead of trinkets.
Yes, and I don't leave Deadleg behind for people to find, because that one costs way too much. Even though it's dead, it still costs so much money, and it's got some sentimental value to it. It means a lot, especially from everything that I've done. Yeah. But so the first shirts,
been through a lot.
I actually had to buy, and so Micah made them, and I would actually buy a bunch of them, and I had to buy sizes. So I had to hope that these sizes were going to work, and at first it did, and that's why those shirts were okay. But then the sizes were like, oh no, well now I need to get this size, and I don't have any more, or I don't have that size. What do I do? And he recommended going to certain sites and doing, I think it was Printful. So I did that, and I was able to start making the shirts more like this, and I would just have fun. I make them myself. You want to
shout some of them out?
So we have Comal Tubes over there.
Comal Tubes behind me.
Specialty Wraps. They're the ones that actually did the wrap on this. Green Tea House, Yitzhak Pearson. He's a realtor, and he's got a book. Pedigo.
Call me. I'll do your houses for you.
Pedigo Electric Bikes, and then Big Frog. Big Frog is the ones that actually did all of these shirts, and be doing more shirts with them.
Awesome. Big Frog.
And that way, too, they stay more consistent.
I need to get some shirts.
Yeah, they're awesome, and I like the this type of print. It's more of the one that's in the shirt. It feels like it's a part of the shirt.
Yeah, it doesn't flake off.
Right. So, that's what morphed. It did that where I had to make each shirt per business, and that way, now I ask the business, hey, well, if you give me $20, that way it covers most of the costs. Shirt usually costs $28 when I was doing it on Printful, $25 to $28, depending, because I actually do the sleeve as well. I know it's a little extra, but it's a fun shirt. Why not?
Yeah.
The sleeve just has a little bit more on it. That
a little bit more logo.
Yeah. So, so each place they'll give me $20, and then whenever I go to get them done, it was on Printful at first. I just eat the $5 or $8, whatever. But I got to get the sizes, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
The problem then came was ordering. It took forever, and then I was trying to find a local place because I'm doing local stuff.
Right.
And again, the whole point was walking around to promote sports for people with disabilities, and talking to each business, and so they have to hear me out. Like, you have to hear me out. Let's see, what
Here's
you think.
my pitch.
And then, the buy-in, to see that you want to be involved is $20
and this is an ongoing campaign you're continually doing. So
yes, every week, every Wednesday.
People can get in touch with you with that. We'll leave the information in the description below.
Yeah, and I do it on two different places. The New Braunfels Local, that one, that group, they approve my post really quickly, as opposed to a couple other ones, and it has the community, so I'm able to reach more, so I strictly go through them for this game. That's the only place you can get the shirt. Okay. But on my page, you can get a sticker. I don't have the sticker here. I'll give you one, and you'll have
I'll put it up.
But it's a I found Deadleg sticker. I
found him. He's right here. I win.
I do need to make some.
I need to sponsor one of your shirts. But
I know, yeah.
I'll have to hide somewhere.
I need to do a... one that I could leave at the location, or Deadleg's been here or something like that. That way, everybody knows.
With a QR code, they could go.
Yeah, true. So there's that, and it's just getting the businesses more seeing what we're able to do, because again, I didn't know I could do all of this, the swimming and the tennis. I didn't think there was a place for me to do it, but as you see, there's so many signatures on that leg.
Are these all the people that have found it?
Those are all of the other guys and women that I played with in Italy.
Oh,
so that was the majority of them. I missed some, and apologies. I thought of it really late to have them sign it. And so that's the majority of the players, and it's ranging from cerebral palsy to an upper arm, an arm, below knee, above knee. Some Nico, his arms he's got no arms. They're right here, and he's short about here. Amazing player. Wow. Oh my goodness. I mean, I didn't have to play him only in doubles, and I was thinking, I have a really good serve. I have a really good serve. There's no way. I hit a good serve, and Nico's he's there, boom, hitting it, and it's just amazing to see these players play. And he signed my leg. By the way,
that's cool.
Yeah, he signed my leg. That's why I had to do it, and I forget what the thing was, but I ended up sealing it. So I wanted them to stay on this, and I don't know. Eventually, I might take the wrap off, but the signature stay. But for now, the plan is to keep it there. But back to the
back to your Deadleg.
Yes,
back to all that made it all happen.
So, Just the Dips, he had originally did this cover for me. It goes on this leg cover whenever I play. So that was the whole sponsor thing. You know, I wanted to do this to kind of get involved with the community, but now, like, it was months later, like, okay, now I need something back. But from businesses that want to. So I would go and I would talk to each one, and Texas Ski Ranch, like, part of the reason why I put them on my leg is I've done so much there. Their center is just so awesome. Like, they had No Bad Days kayak there. No Bad Days is no longer there. They're back in Round Rock, but it's wheelchair accessible, handicap accessible.
You're a natural slalom skier.
I can just go single.
Let me get that cajon going.
Oh yeah. But you can do so much there. I want to go. Wakeboarding. I was staying away. I'm actually going to use Deadleg to do it. It doesn't work, so why not?
Yeah.
But Texas Ski Ranch, they have so much there. I did something with Stale Cracker. I turned this into one of those oars that he could stir the jambalaya. Just doing fun things there at TSR.
Would they allow me to come out there and get drone footage of that?
I believe so.
That would be sweet.
You just have to talk. Yeah, actually.
Have you ever seen a drone out there?
Yes. ATX Drones, I think, was the guy that goes out there during that event. But yeah, so there's different things that I want to do there. There's Loki's Axe House. Got some things planned for them, but yeah, so that's why I put them on my leg, because they've been so awesome. No Bad Days, that was another one. I was going there every week, and I was taking a kayak out and recording myself do so, like just using it and showing others that it can be done, or that you can do it.
Right.
I also had a spill. Thank goodness I had my GoPro on. I was actually trying to adjust the GoPro and fell in the water, and I got it on camera and I posted it, because again, it's not about all the wins, it's about those bad moments too.
Yep. You can find joy in those too.
Right, because I wanted people to come out and kayak with me. Like, if you're wanting to get into it, I'm not a teacher, but I have one leg. I know how I do it, so I can help you do it as well. That was the goal. And No Bad Days, they were totally behind it. And this way too, I was recording different kayaks, like the different push pedals versus cycle. I haven't posted that content. Sorry, No Bad Days. I need to edit it. Yes. But it was really neat. Like, that's why I put them on there, because they were just so supportive of everything that I was doing. And then TKAC clothing, I didn't wear their shirt today for a very good reason. I gained a little bit of weight, and that shirt is just it's a little bit more fitting, and but no, that
you gain more muscle.
But since coming back from Italy, we'll get to that one. But their shirts are actually bamboo. Their clothing's actually bamboo. So it's really neat.
I've heard it's really soft.
I heard it was soft, and then I heard something about the smell, because of the bamboo doesn't hold it's antimicrobial, whatever. I'm not too sure. I don't really care.
Check that out.
I was like, hey, if it works, it works. I sweat a lot because I'm an amputee, and I sweat, profusely. So they sent me a shirt, and I tried it. I played a whole hour of tennis, drenched in sweat. I think it was a Sunday. Excuse me. Let me take a drink. It was a Sunday, and my wife was at work, and so she works long hours. I played in the morning, like 7 a.m. Went home, and I got the shirt, and I just air dried it. I put it out in the garage and air dried it, and later on, whenever my wife came home, I smelled it, and I was like, all right, I want to see if it stinks. Nope, no smell whatsoever, and it was dry. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna test this. So she got home, and I'm like, hey, look at the shirt. I got it in. And I threw it to her. And, she's smelling it. And, it's nothing dramatic. She's not like, oh, this is horrible. No, she was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, I played a whole hour of tennis. I was like, I was drenched.
She's probably throwing it on the ground.
She was like,
throw it back at you.
She's a nurse, so it's kind of like
doesn't
whatever.
gross her out too much. She's
Right.
seen it all.
But I mean,
Smelled it all.
it didn't smell, so it was really awesome. So I had to. I was like, all right. I reported back to them. I said, all right. I'm kind of. I like those shirts.
Who makes them?
It's TKAC, Take a Chance Clothing. They're in Ohio.
Okay.
And so they sent me 2 more shirts so I can wear when I go to the tournament, which helped out so much because I was playing one match and I think it was a couple hours later playing the next. And, I didn't want to have so many clothes, so I had that shirt. I played with it in the first match. It dried by the time, I was out, and it dries fairly quick. Yeah. And so by the time I was at the next match, I was good to go. I didn't stink, and boom, played that match, and I was there all day. I mean, all day, and I'm not stinking. So that's a selling point for me, is not smelling.
I mean, they would probably expect you to smell anyway, so it wouldn't be a surprise if you did.
It wouldn't, but again...
But then you got to walk around smelling yourself all day, too.
Right. And you're in Italy, and it's like, come on. You're at a fancy, it's a nice country club. Very beautiful. So...
There's a reason that tennis players have, a dozen shirts in their bag?
Yeah. I don't like to carry that many. I'll carry 2, the one I have on and then 1 more. With those shirts, that's all I need. And one of them is usually a shirt like this. It's my vocal shirt just because, hey, they sponsor me. I'm going to wear those just as like I wear the TKAC clothing when I play because, hey, and then they got shorts recently. I think it was even a like a light sweater, performance sweater, whatever you call it. It's mostly gym stuff. So, and actually I need to post it on my Instagram and Facebook, but I believe, and I'm sorry guys, it's, I'm an ambassador for them, and the code to get a discount is Deadleg.
Deadleg.
So Deadleg's going to be used for most of my stuff, and that's the discount code. I believe it's going to be 10%. You can get off on the clothes, and
we'll put that link in the description too.
Yeah, it is fair
we'll put
price.
Everything down in there.
Normal shirts cost you $30. I believe that's what the price was. $30. You get 10% off. Yeah. I mean, it's really good clothing. They've lasted. I'm going to test out how my print will work on it, and see if it lasts. Because I'd like to put some of this stuff on there. Sure. Maybe for some super special Where's Deadleg, I'll get them some of those shirts because why not? But yeah. So
I like it.
That's why, I mean, all of those guys are on there. And then there was one...
It just turned purple. I forgot. He did a Camaro in this.
Well, this one does the same thing.
He drove by me one day when he was taking pictures of it, and I pulled over in the parking lot over here in Kyle, and it was a Camaro that goes from brown to purple like this.
That might have been it. Because
it was an old 70 Camaro, 69 or something. Maybe
don't
74.
Recall.
I have it.
Because all of these were vehicles
that
he...
us in the comments.
Yeah, because that one was a vehicle. This one, it was just kind of like, hey, we're going to take that and go. And then this was his, I believe, because it was kind of last minute idea. We had an idea for that one. This one, he wanted to... I gave him free reign, do whatever you want. And then this last one I wanted to do, I was like, hey, let's do America. Because I'm going to Italy, I want to represent the United States.
Yep.
So let's do that. And then all of a sudden he texted me and said, hey, I've got an idea. And he started asking me certain questions. And I was like, all right. I sent him some pictures. And we got a tennis ball. I mean... That was awesome. And then I got to make a cool little reel with it.
Yeah, I just noticed that was a tennis ball.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a tennis ball. And, some people, they were like, oh, man, well, it got dirty. No, it didn't. That's the fuzz where it picks up certain things. I mean, there's detail in it more than just,
That's
it's
Jason.
a tennis ball. I mean, even the way
He's an artist.
Yeah.
He thinks of everything. He's so creative.
Actually, it'll stand up. Like
I'm gonna have to have him do some. I think I'm gonna have him do my FJ again, probably next year. I need to get it redone and get some of the podcast graphics on it and stuff. But anyway, all right.
But yeah, so the main sponsor actually came from my boss, because I do work part time, and it's for a welding company, and so the sponsor was actually the boss of the main company, which is a scaffold company.
Oh, cool.
They do work all through this area, and I mean, heck, Missouri, everywhere. They're so if you ever need scaffolding, but it's major scaffolding, more industrial. They do that.
Warehousing stuff.
Yep.
Commercial buildings.
I mean, and then we do. So
are they based out of New Braunfels as well?
New Braunfels, yeah. Okay. I think our home office is in Seguin, but yeah. So they sponsor me,
and
because
what's their name?
It's Alfaro Scaffolding, Alfaro Industrial Services, same thing.
Okay.
And then you could also look into Romero Welding. They do like metal buildings and things like that. Also, I mean, industrial welding, but for I guess our podcast and the reach we'll get it's mostly for like those metal buildings. They can put them up quick or tear down even, or tear down and put up somewhere else. We've done different things. So cool. Shout out to them.
Very
Thank
cool.
you so much for helping me get there, because without them that trip was expensive, and unfortunately we don't have help. As players, there was four United States players. We paid our way, and it is what it is. I wanted to go.
Is there an Olympic committee for para athletes? Is it funded by somebody?
So para standing tennis is not really. It hasn't been recognized before. It was only regular tennis. Everybody knows regular standing tennis, the regular pros, if you want to use the word regular. Then you have wheelchair tennis. They're pros. They're everywhere.
Let's call them pros with all their limbs. How about that?
Yes. And then so wheelchair, and then you don't have standing tennis. Like I mean, I had the option to do wheelchair tennis right after the accident, and I didn't want to. It's
right,
because
you still had one good leg too. You wanted to use.
And it's difficult. I mean.
Yeah,
they have a racket in their hand and they're wheeling. They're amazing. I just don't think I could do that. What they do, they're awesome. I wanted to stand up. I want to be as normal as possible if I have the chance, and I do, because I have a prosthetic. So I want to stand up. And at the time of my accident, there was, to my knowledge, there was nothing available, and now there is.
Well, that's good.
So. Oh shoot! I forgot where we were. I'm sorry.
Going back to there's no help. There's no funding.
Oh, so yes,
to raise money because it is expensive to get there.
Yeah.
My question was, if somebody's putting on these tournaments and these events, where's that money coming from? Who's sponsoring that? And why would they not, in those countries, not sponsor their citizens to go there? That's my question.
Okay, so the tournament in Italy, they had one just before in Spain. I think it was the week prior. I didn't know too much about it. I couldn't go to it, so I didn't look into it as well. But the Italy tournament in Turin, that one was actually sponsored, or ITF recognized it. So you have the ITF sponsor on there. I mean, it was really awesome. We made a big deal about it because it's recognition, and for not for us. I'm 40. It's not for me.
Right.
I get to play now, but it's for the future.
Right.
So we saw that.
Man, it just brings those kids alive too.
Yeah. We have a group chat. All of the 107, I think, athletes that were invited to go, or accepted to go. We have a group, and we were all excited about it, and we posted about it, the ITF, and so we posted the poster, and it has ITF and all of the sponsors. There are plenty of sponsors, don't get me wrong. It's just here in the States, it just may not have been that big yet, but I think after what we did over there, I mean, look, I got to be a part of it, and then I get to report it.
Right.
So I wanted to take as much video as I could, and post it here, and I tag USTA, I tag USTA Texas, and just so they see what we're doing over there, and maybe hopefully one day they'll sponsor one or two players.
Right.
I mean, Sweden sponsored all their players. I believe it was 4 or 5 that went to this tournament in Italy, and they actually announced it and talked to us saying that it was their government. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to say the wrong words, but their trip was funded, the stay and the flights, which was amazing. I know you can't do that for everybody,
right.
But I think there's Danny Scriviano. He is the number one guy. I mean, he's the guy that won this tournament in Italy. I think for sure, hey, cover his funding to go to Australia in January. Cover that kind of stuff. Maybe I wouldn't make it. I'm there. I'm top in the United States because because there's not that many players right now. Let's just say, but I'm there. I was one of 4 that went. So
you're lighting a fire, and there'll be other players that are going to go, oh, I can play tennis. I can still play tennis.
Right.
Look, he's doing it. And you're going to have more competition.
But so we have tournaments like Greensboro coming up. Greensboro, it'll in general cost about $800 to $1,000 for me to get there, play, stay, and come back. That's not overly expensive.
Right.
Just a little bit of help. If USTA like, hey, here's $300. Oh man,
right.
I would be ecstatic.
Discounted hotel rates or car rental, plane tickets, even that kind of stuff.
I think we will.
Our government subsidizes a lot for people.
So yeah, I know, but see, I don't want to complain because I know we're new, but it's going to get there. Yeah. There's so many good players that weren't able to go. They weren't able to show that interest, or what, they just don't know. So that's why true. I do.
That's true.
All of the things that I do is just to spread it. There's people, and this is not like a bragging type thing. I don't care about that. I have a guy from California. He's reached out because I post in the other amputee sites on Facebook, and he's reached out and asked about tennis. There's a guy in Florida. We communicate a lot. There's so many people that I've been able to connect with and talk about these sports, and I know they're wanting to play. So I'm trying to find that way. Like, I contacted USTA in California. Hey, what do y'all have? And they sent me to one guy, and unfortunately that guy said, well, it's not really going that well right now, or we're not. It hasn't hit the ground running. So it's like, okay, well, darn. But at least now this guy, he follows me on my athlete page. So he sees all those updates and all those tournaments. So it gives him, something to look forward to. Or he gets to see my leg falling off, like I said.
It's a laugh out of it.
Right. So it's
that was one of my favorite videos too.
Man, that one got a lot of views. My leg falling off. But it's so that's the goal, is just really getting this to become something that is big, and that they'll help guys out like Denny. I would be so happy to hear that he had something taken care of to go to. Heck, if he's number 1 in the United States, each one of those tournaments he wants to go to should be taken care of somewhat. I mean, just to help get him there.
How old is Danny?
Oh, he's mid to late 20s. And so that's, he's in right there.
Did he lose his leg in an accident?
No, he's cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And I don't want to talk about it too much, but there is, I will say it because there is a controversy on where certain people should stand in the standings, because there are PST 1, 2, 3, and 4.
There are levels of ability.
Yes. We'll just run it real quick. PST 1 is arm, 2 arm or something else. There's other things. I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep it short. Arm. PST 2 will be below knee or some cerebral palsy, and there are some other criteria. PST 3, cerebral palsy. It is in that category as well. Above knee amputee, and then there's combinations now. So Kemet, he has a hand, so he actually has a racket arm. So awesome to see that and how well he uses it. But anyway, and then he also has below knee. So I feel like he would be in the PST3. He played in PST2 on this tournament, but I think he's got two impairments, so it's
now. When you say he has a racket arm, does he have a racket for an arm?
Yes. So his prosthetic.
I just caught that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you meant he still had that part of his arm where he could hold the racket, but maybe he was missing this arm.
No. So this
and then
racket.
I couldn't picture it in my head until I rewound it.
So I mean, he's also
that's cool,
as well as missing fingers. I'm sorry, Kevin.
I got to see that.
Yeah, I think he is marine biologist. I know he went diving, and I think it was something. I don't want to get it wrong, sepsis possibly, but he lost some or most of his fingers, and then this hand. So the prosthetic comes up, and then right here it just attaches to the racket. So the racket, there is no hand; it's the racket.
Literally an extension of his arm.
That's
amazing.
And for me, I do a lot with my wrist. So
just
thinking about
with spin, I guess.
Well, he has to with his arm, how he moves it to get certain spin. So that's just crazy.
It's a whole different muscle memory there.
Right. So
it's more shoulder.
That's why I feel like he would be in a 3, even though he can do it. It's still that's a huge difference to have to do it all by your arm versus your wrist. But anyway,
very interesting.
So the cerebral palsy thing, CP. You could fall in one or the two, PST2 or PST3. It just depends on how bad it is, and there's doctors and people that evaluate to, say where you go. That's not for me. That's not my choice. I'm not gonna say I'm ever gonna choose. Danny is a PST3. Right now, he's a PST3. Before, he was a 3. So I'm all for it. Yeah. That's what he is. The doctors have told it, and that's where we stand right now. So back to that.
Okay.
Danny's Danny. He is the number 1 PST3. So, man, that's my competition. Like I always have my eyes.
So it makes sense to level up at that point, don't you think? If he's dominating that.
No.
That division.
So
allow
I guess
him to level up.
He could, because there's a PST3. You have 2 bounces, and it's not that we're horrible and we need 2 bounces, or we are less than and we need 2 bounces. It's the fact that we can't move that well.
Right, can't get to the balls quickly.
This knee makes it very difficult to run. If I have my running leg, but what am I going to do? Change into this midpoint? No,
right.
You have this leg. So
and the courts are all regulation tennis
all
courts.
Same size. PST4 there will be a smaller because it is short statute.
So basically you would dominate pickleball.
Yeah,
the whole court.
I don't want to damage
by yourself.
Yes.
Solo against doubles. You can just take them out.
Right. But so no. I mean, we mostly take 1 bounce in PST3, but if there's a drop shot or something, we will take 2. Danny, yeah, he can most of the time. I've seen him. He can get to those balls on the first bounce, and that's where you're what you said. Go ahead and move up. Some people kind of say that, or they say, well, look, he can get there. But how hard is he working? Just because he can get there doesn't mean that he's having to work his butt off to get there. When I get to start running, like I had practice this morning, 7 to 8 a.m. I was practicing on like really running and getting out to these balls. And I was doing a lot better. I was getting to these balls in 1 bounce, not letting the second bounce. So what? Whenever I master or get close to mastering running with this prosthetic on a court, and I can get to balls on 1 bounce, so now I have to move up? No. Just because I have to exert a a lot of energy to do so. It's just a lot of us either don't know how, or don't know how efficiently, or prefer to do it the other way. So no, I don't think that just because you can and you keep winning, because people have said that too. No, you don't move up.
He's hungrier for a challenge.
Yeah, and it is such a big difference between 2 and 3, and that's where
that one bounce really can't make a difference.
The one bounce
in the whole game,
because the guys with below knee, they really can move on the court really well, and I couldn't. I think I could do well. Obviously, I mean, I still have my tennis skills, but at the end of the day, I'm exerting so much energy just to lug that thing around.
Those things aren't light either.
No, that one right here is about 15 pounds.
Although I don't know how much a human calf and foot weigh, femur and foot weigh.
Roughly 15 pounds. I mean, when I lost my leg, that was the joke that I got to keep saying at the doctor's office. And they're like, "Hey, did you lose? Have you lost any?
Have you lost any weight?
Have you lost any weight?
You used
Dramatic
to be
amount of weight.
185. Now
And
you're 170.
I was like, yeah. Well, I did recently lose about 15 pounds, and because I weighed myself, I lost 15 pounds in a day, and they'd be like, "What? How?" I lost my leg.
Like, Rich, get out of here.
It's fun.
Sign him out.
I've always had fun with it, and I know how much roughly it weighs, and I guess that's because it has to be a pendulum. You have to swing it forward.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but it's, that one right there is only 10, I think.
The running ones are, you have to be a little
I think
lighter,
it's
right?
10
You don't have to be. But.
with the socket, because the socket does weigh a certain amount. Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing. Since we last got, or this last interview, I think I had a test socket last time, and I got my final, which that took forever to get. And I'm going to be doing a series, and so I'm saying it on here, so I have to do it.
Accountability, people.
Yes.
That's what we do here.
I'm going to be doing a series. I don't really know how to do it. This is going to be the difficult part, because I'm new to really wanting to talk on camera. I don't mind doing videos of me falling and things like that. It's fun. But it's talking. That's kind of the hard part. In person, I love talking. This is in person.
Right. So you get used to it, and I just have to forget that they're there.
Right.
Because it really makes me uncomfortable too sometimes.
I keep slouching sometimes, and I remember I'm like,
my camera.
Come on now.
Don't pick your nose until he starts talking, and then you're off camera and you cut away. that kind of thing.
Yes. Oh yeah, edits. That's so great.
Edits.
But so the series will be what I just went through the last since Italy was June 17th. I left 17th and came back on the 24th. So from the time I came back to today, and it's not that much time. What is today? Today's the 24th? Something like that. So it's almost been 2 months.
I forget to keep track these days. 24th, yeah.
So almost 2 months, and I have had the worst 2 months, the best 2 months. It's just
ups and downs.
Up and down, but there was a process of getting this socket, and getting this socket took 2 months. That process. I hate saying the word.
Process.
No, I was going to say prostatist. But I didn't want to say prostatist, because prostatist
sounds like prostitute.
Yes. And
I'll say it for you.
I used to say prosthetic doctor, but this guy actually told me, he's like, "No, we're not doctors." He kind of laughed, and I'm like, "Oh, well, whatever." Hey, you know what? How about this? My leg guy.
My leg guy.
I got
a leg guy.
He was working on it nonstop for 2 months, and because he was trying to get me ready for Italy. I had to get ready.
Is that guy here in Austin too?
No, he's in San Antonio.
San Antonio.
So I mean, there's prosthetic doctors. There's leg guys.
There's leg guys
in New Braunfels and closer to where I live in New Braunfels. But I got recommended this guy through one of those events that I went to in February in Wimberley, and he has done prosthetics for people at an athletic level, and I'm like, all right.
That's cool.
So I went there, and he, like I said, so he took 2 months, and each visit, it's insane. Each visit, I was there for minimum 4 or 5 hours. He's just working on the leg, trying to get it right. I think the longest I got there at 8:30, 9 o'clock, because I would go swim before in San Antonio, and then I would go straight to him. I'm there at 9. I didn't leave until 2, 3 o'clock, because he was back there. I mean, because there's so many little adjustments that you can make while doing the with that test socket. It was clear, heat it and mold it, and he was just doing so much to get it right, and we kept having issues.
He's a prosthetic artist.
Yeah, but I'm abnormal apparently.
Well,
because
I wasn't going to say anything, but
through this process of doing that socket, my leg changed so much. He does a cast of your leg. And then, I'm doing my normal 3-day a week, 2-hour swims in San Antonio. And, well, I would go back in. He got the cast done. He's got the temporary. And it doesn't fit right because I had lost more weight since. Okay, so
think about that. Your leg gains and shrinks size.
So we had to make adjustments. So we made adjustments. He brought it in. He's like, all right, cool. Now take it. And so I took it home. I wore it. I'm still swimming. I was having a lot of issues. I was hurting a lot. And because my leg would kick out. And it's a normal issue that we'll have where it'll kick to the outside of the prosthetic. And that's where your biggest pain issues will be. But so I would go back in because I was hurting, and then he would be like, all right, well, let's see. And he's like, what is going on? We're having to now make adjustments to open it wider. So somehow we had to keep going down, but now I'm going bigger. Excuse me. Apparently I was kind of building a little muscle in the water because I do use the nub. I use it just to kind of keep balance and do certain things.
Yeah, like a rudder.
So it was gaining a little bit of muscle. And so you had this fluctuation that I was having, but we didn't understand it yet. And so it took us 2 months to finally, and it clicked. And I told him, I said, hey, I've been fluctuating a lot, and it's my leg that's been doing it. And we were making so many adjustments, and we finally got to that point where it was like that felt perfect. It was only a week and a half before the tournament. Well, a week and a half before I have to leave to Italy, and I was like,
what a relief!
That felt good. And so that at that point we were like, all right, so you sure take this home. You're going to wear it over the weekend. This is it. Cool. Took it home, and it managed to feel so good. I've never felt that with a socket. I've had 2 other prosthetic places, and, issues are issues.
Yeah.
But this guy and I, because we verbalized everything,
right.
And that's
Sometimes
another thing.
It takes finding the right one.
I'm gonna do a series on that, is verbalizing and being able to talk with your doctor, because that's how we nailed it down.
Right.
And I took it back to him on Monday. He went ahead and did the final. I got it Thursday, and I left the following Monday to go to Italy. So yeah, I mean the making of the socket itself with him and I, it took 2 months. So I got that socket. Took it to Italy. My leg fell off one time only. We luckily caught it on YouTube, and I did post it. But anyway, when I came back, what I'm going to be doing a series on is that moment I came back. I had so many issues because I got back on a Monday or Tuesday I think, and all of a sudden I started feeling sick, not feeling good, getting the fever, and it was a couple days. I was okay. I was still wearing my leg, and then that third day, I didn't want to wear it. I couldn't wear it. I was hurting. My body was aching. And then I got sick for probably a week and a half. Just couldn't do anything. So I didn't swim. I wasn't training. I wasn't doing hardly anything. Then I started feeling all right. I was like, okay. It was a week and a half. I felt okay. I went ahead and got my leg, and leg's not fitting too great, but I was able to put it on enough. When I came back from Italy, I was trying to make a point of training, and I got a coach and said, hey, let's go out and hit. We went out and hit. After that, I was out for another week and a half. I got sick again. And this time, just more not being able to walk and not being able to have the prosthetic on because it hurt so much.
Right.
It got so bad to where so that was 3.5 weeks. Now my leg doesn't fit. I felt better. I was not sick anymore, but now my leg doesn't fit. And so I wish I brought a socket with me, but the socket's here. My leg's supposed to go all the way down. It was like 4 inches off the bottom. And
that's a lot.
Yeah, I was so swollen. And so now I can't wear my leg because it's swollen. So what do you do? So there's been a very big process of how to get my leg back down to size, how to start wearing it again. How am I going to be working? How am I going to be training, doing anything? And the pool closed down for 2 weeks because of they had maintenance. So I was like, oh no, now I
right on time.
So that was a whole 5 weeks of not swimming. So I've started gaining so much weight. I'm still on the heavier side before I went to Italy, but almost there. Today my leg is fitting so much better.
Well,
like I said, I played tennis this morning and it was great. So I'm gonna document that, and I'm talking with my prosthetic, my leg guy. Talking with my leg guy, and I'm gonna get some advice from him because I think there's something that he could have done. It's not his fault, and by the way, none of that stuff was his fault. The 2 months of the leg being taken to made and taking to be made, goodness, or the leg not fitting. That's not on him.
English is our first language.
I know. That's on me. That's on my body. But what could you do? So I asked him, like, hey, well, could I have asked for my temporary socket and you widen it just a little bit? And I used that for a week. And then it didn't occur to me, like, at the time, but now it does. So I want to document that and kind of post those, that way people see, and too, all the damage that was done to my leg, because there was a lot of damage. Blisters would form because it's suction. You're constantly having suction, and so it's just causing those blisters, and then you can't wear your leg for another reason. So it's one thing or the other, but I think it's a really good thing that other people, that you get to see as well. Like, not everybody gets to see the actual leg itself. You see this, and people don't understand how far down it goes or how it looks. I have, folds on my leg that excruciating amount of pain. I get asked this a lot. Are you in pain? Like
all the time. That's
all the time.
Like that meme I saw the other day with the doctor asking what's your level of pain, and he said, well, the normal, and the doc said 0's the normal. He goes, oh, because you don't even think about having 0 pain.
No.
You always have pain.
But the last thing I'll say really is, so documenting, but this socket, I have had it has just felt so amazing. I can't say it any better than that. Playing tennis in Italy without pain. I didn't take my wheelchair to Italy. I didn't take crutches to Italy. I took my leg to Italy, and I took Deadleg.
That's faith. Yeah, you can take Deadleg.
How was I going to make it? I didn't know. I'm getting chills right now because I'm talking with my wife. I'm like, babe, how am I going to do it? Should I take the wheelchair? I don't know. I didn't. I just took the leg and I relied on it and trusted that prosthetic guy, my leg guy, trusted my leg guy to have done a good job, and he did. I had walked the most I had ever walked. I kept it on from sun up. Heck, before sun up, I had my leg on to the end of the day, because how else am I going to get around?
Right.
So I had it on, and I had no issues.
How many days were you there?
I think it was 6 days. 6 days total. 7.
That's great.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't go visit anything. It's not like I went to go sightsee.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit there was a time that I was going to do that, because the swim club that's on one of the Just the Dips one,
Alamo Masters Swimming.
Alamo Masters. So one of the guys, he actually lives over there. So we were talking on a WhatsApp, I think it was, and he was inviting me out to Milan on Sunday. He's like, hey, so come out on Sunday. I'm like, okay. So we started kind of planning the trip, and that would have been the last day of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So I played I was there the first day. We're just there, getting into it. And then the second day, I think it was the day we started. So I played the second day, and I played the third day. And then I lost, so I was out. So I won.
So what was it like walking out there on the first day of play?
Well, I was nervous because I thought it was going to be hot. Because they
outdoors?
They had 3 different types. They had the outdoor courts, which, of course, it's going to be hot, but it's outdoors, so you'll get a little wind. Then they had the nice courts that are YouTube, like they have everything. It's so awesome. Those courts are open sides, but it's covered top.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have the bubble. So it's 3 courts inside of a bubble, and these are clay courts, by the way. I've never played on clay.
And where was the tournament being held?
Turin, Italy.
Okay.
So, and Monviso Sport Club.
Okay.
And so it's on clay. And, excuse me, I had never been on clay before, so it was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the nerve-wracking thing, too, is clay. And so everybody's coming out of the bubble drenched in sweat, and they're talking about how hot it is in there, and I'm like, ooh. Great.
I'm already hot. Already sweat.
My leg's going to fall off. It's for sure going to fall off. I knew it. So I didn't want to play in there. And sure enough, eventually me and the guy I was playing, we got called, and we're in the bubble. So, okay, cool. We start walking in the bubble, and it's like a pressure, like airlock.
Mm-hmm.
So you have 2 doors. You have to open, get into here. That one closes. Now you can open this one because of the the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we get in there, and I'm like, all right, this isn't. I didn't say it, but this isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some air circulation.
Yeah, and it's just not hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's Italy. It was like 82, 83 degrees, 75. I don't know.
Christmas Day here in Texas.
Yeah, that. Honestly, it was probably about 78 to 80, 85 degrees while we were playing. And okay, we're inside the bubble, and we start playing, and the concern for me was not the heat. I felt great because, again, Texas, my goodness. I got to train in this.
Right.
So, I played well, made mistakes, but it was fun. I was recording most of the match with a new toy that Shannon had bought me. It's supposed to follow you around. It did a good job, but I didn't learn it yet, and I should have put it in a different spot.
I was going to say you forgot to hit record.
It was supposed to autofocus, and it didn't. So it just didn't look good except for one clip, and it was actually one that I used for some of my videos. It looked really good. So I'm like, okay. But I did use it as like I was talking. So I'm there, and I'm just like, doing bad. I'll still talk to myself. And those videos that I posted a positive one. It's like me just talking to myself, like talking to the camera, but it's staying positive. I'm in Italy playing tennis.
Right. What's to complain about?
And there's prize money.
Make it hotter.
There's prize money, and so I mean it's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I recorded things like that. I talked to the camera, and then I'd go move it to the other side, and I'd go play, and I won that match, and it was an amazing feeling to win the first match on clay against. He was good. He was good. We were very equal. It was very close. I won the first set. He won the second set, and it was a third set tiebreaker. I will say, I felt, and it happened multiple times there, I felt like in the second set, my energy level just kind of dropped, and that's why it just caused me to, not do so well. But it was a very, very good experience. And then playing the doubles match later on that day, and I was supposed to play doubles with a different partner, but we were in different categories, so we split. And then Ivan kind of saw him in the crowd, and I was like, "Hey, let's play doubles." Didn't know him before, but I just looked at him. I was like, "Hey, you want to play doubles?" And he's an above knee amputee as well, and it's like, yeah. So shout out to my French crew. There was all my Frenchies that were cheering me on. They were so nice. Everybody there was nice. But so him and I played, and we won that match, and it was fun. I think that was the match that my leg fell off. It was against Gregory and Patrick.
Is that the one where I saw you kept hopping, though, trying to get the point?
I was hopping to go get the alcohol. So alcohol is over here.
Oh.
I have to have alcohol to put my leg on, which is interesting because I saw so many different amputees, and most of them don't use alcohol or some type of lubricant to put your leg on, because there's a silicone ring that, for me, has to be lubricated and to put on. They don't. They just kind of just go. And I'm like, wow. So I was feeling it, but then I saw Cedric. He does the same thing as me. He uses that alcohol or whatever he had to put it on. So I had to hop to the side to go put it on. And then, all right, we're good.
Ready to go.
But hey, I won the point. I hit an overhead smash, and my leg fell off. So, I mean... And he was
good footage.
Yes, exactly. He was the tournament director, Gregory. And I had told him later on, I was like, man, I wish those were, YouTube courts were actually on. That way I could take that clip. And he goes, they were. And I said, okay. So I went to search it, and I was on their YouTube. It's para standing tennis. There's numbers behind it, but you can find it.
We'll put it down there.
Yeah. And so so I watched it, and I clipped it. I'm like, all right. So then I put it on Instagram, just my leg falling off.
We'll just put that up in the part of the podcast right
okay.
here.
Yes.
We'll just play that.
So, I mean, it was just such an amazing experience. And then my second day of play, I lost in singles against John. Met him in Dallas.
Yeah.
He ended up beating me. It was a third set tiebreaker. I won. I came back and won the first set. That was super stressful. So that was the third time I was on the court, and that was probably the most intimidating matchup because it was somebody I knew. I have such great respect for him and all the other players that, we're still going to be competitive. I want to beat you.
Right.
But in between points,
sports.
I just look at him and I'm like, man, you're good. And I mean, he got up on me. I think he was up 4-1, and I in my head I'm like, oh no.
When it gets to be 4-1, you get kind of nervous.
Yeah, because I'm just not playing as good as I know I can. It's not to put him down. I was making mistakes. He was hitting well. Normally my backhand is my weapon.
Was he finding your weak spots and hitting them?
No. Clay is different. Clay is very different to hit on, and the way the ball bounces
and run on.
Yeah, I wasn't used to it, but that's not an excuse. I just wasn't hitting well.
Did you have to have different shoes for that?
Yes, I actually I had to buy clay court shoes. They're a little bit different than the hard court shoes. But I actually use the clay court shoes on hard court now because they're softer. But so yeah, I mean, I was down and I thought, this is it. Like, he's got me, so let's just go. I'm going to start relaxing. And all of a sudden I went on a run. I won the first set 6-4. Yeah, I mean, have fun. You know, I do get upset at myself on the court, but it's gone real quick. Points, 1 point at a time. I teach that as well. You know, when I coach, it's 1 point at a time. All that stuff doesn't matter. I mean, look what didn't matter. I won that first set. He won the match.
Yeah.
You know, we went to that third set tiebreaker. So, you know, that second day of playing, I lost, and I felt it. It hit me when I lost that match. Like, I wanted to get further. I mean, it hits me now. I wanted to get further. I wanted to do better. But it is. I was still losing to somebody that I respected. So at the same time, whatever. Now I get to see what am I going to do now? Now I'm done. Yeah, because I lost. Me and Yvonne lost our doubles match against Nico. Nico and I'm sorry, the other guy. Anyway, so now what am I going to do? I started to think about it, and I'm like, I flew Deadleg there. He was in the airplane to, and then from.
They make you put him in the overhead compartment?
Okay, so I was very
under the seat,
weirded out. No,
right next to you.
On the way back, yes. He was in his own seat. I strapped him in just for kicks and giggles, but I got lucky on the way back. On the way to, flights, they're not as bad as what I guess they used to be. Or maybe the Condor was a really awesome place. Yeah. I was starting to like put him up in the bin and like hide him, or I was putting it in my backpack to hide it. I didn't know that you could take like medical devices. Yeah, with a shoe on. Well, apparently you could have medical devices. I didn't have to put him in a bag. I could just carry it. And so I knew that on the way back. Yes.
Wolverines.
So all right, you know, what am I going to do? And I carried him out on the court with me because it's a part of what I'm doing. I carried it on the court, and
it's part of your branding now, basically.
Right. I mean, my license plate is Deadleg, and you know, I was like, all right, Deadleg, and then
it's my sponsor.
It got to work. That's all this was worth, was work. This leg is getting all the pleasure, so hey, let's take him places. So then I got the idea of like, I mean, I was already talking with everybody because clearly I talk a lot. I like talking.
Well, only like an hour and 10 minutes. We're good.
So, and it's not about being on camera. There was a camera crew there, by the way. They're doing a documentary. Yeah,
we were talking about that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yes. But I tried my best to stay away and talk to the people that are there. And, you know, eventually it was like the fourth day I decided to, hey, I want to get people to sign my leg. That way I can have you forever on there. And, you know, I want you to take a picture with it. So I started to do that. Sunday, I left on Monday. Sunday was the final day. Saturday, I'm getting these signatures. And, you know, doing that, getting the signatures, getting the pictures, talking with everybody and having so much fun, I was like, you know what? You didn't come here to go sightsee. You didn't come here to go to Milan. You didn't come here. I'm gonna come on Sunday. I'm gonna be here on Sunday. Especially Danny was in the finals, so Danny, I need to stay.
Him.
I'm gonna go support him. It's worth more to watch him play than to go somewhere else. My wife's not with me. My kids aren't with me. So what memory is that? Just doing it myself. So no, I made a point. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I went on Sunday, and it was the best thing. It was, you know, watching now all the people in the finals. I mean, this is the highest of the high of playability. I mean, these guys playing so well, and I got to watch it, and I got to see really, really, really high quality tennis. And then get more signatures. And I got one signature in particular Filippo. Right here. He was the 8-year-old. 8-year-old arm, his left arm. Yes, amputee. Playing tennis. And I got to play a little bit of tennis with him. It was a few
That's
shots.
awesome.
But that's why we're doing it. There's...
Amen.
Some people may think I do things to be selfish. I want to be out there. Yeah, of course. I would love to be out on the cover of something, sure. But that's not the reason. He was the reason. Right. Seeing his face light up.
Give those kids hope, man.
He's got to have something later on. We're here to pave the way. There was people before me that started.
Goosebumps.
People before me that started paving the way.
Right.
I'm not anywhere near the front, but I'm pretty loud. I like doing this because
use your God-given talent.
Right, and I don't mean to be that way in a negative way. I like
Nothing wrong with it
to
at all.
spread the word and make sure everybody knows about what we can still
kids,
do.
The thing, and with kids, they're just innocent kids. I mean, they didn't ask to be brought into this world. They didn't ask to be amputees or to have any kind of, challenges that hold them back from normal sports.
Right.
So when they see somebody like you being able to do it when you're 40, it gives them. They're like, man, I'm going to be that guy when I'm 40. And I'm going to go help kids at the hospital. I'm going to show them the way that they can do it too, because
yeah, and that's
it lights a spark, and that's one of the reasons we're doing all these podcasts too.
Yeah,
we're just trying to light a spark in the world, and that's what you're doing.
It's just showing.
Live your purpose. Don't just talk your purpose. Live your purpose.
Because that was one of the big things for me.
I love it.
I've been an amputee for 6.5. It'll be 7 years in December.
Your purpose changed that moment,
right? And I knew it. I've talked about this before with family members, everybody. I knew there was a reason. I didn't know why, but there was a reason. But why didn't I know about all these sports before?
I didn't either. You would think that there probably is, but you only give it a second thought.
Right. And I mean, it's even hard for me to find them now.
Yeah.
But those people before, they did the best they could. They did what they could to spread that awareness. Now that I have that passion because I missed out on time, I see it and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit louder because why not? I'm going to go put my feet in different stores, in different locations, different businesses to spread that awareness. And
because he doesn't have a voice as big as yours.
Right.
He needs somebody to help speak for him.
Right. And I mean, but see, walking around with a prosthetic leg, it prompts questions. And that's the beautiful part is you can come up to me and ask me. Right. There's a reason I'm carrying a leg.
Right. I certainly would if I saw you at Home Depot or H-E-B carrying your leg. Be like, hey, what's up? Tell me about that leg.
You just say, why do you carry a spare all the time?
Just in case?
No, this is why. And so, I mean, it's very awesome. But my way of doing things is different than those that did it before. It's not better, it's different.
Right.
And I will get to reach different people than they get to reach because the way they do things works. The way I'm going to do things, I'm hoping to just I started a group. And I started on my birthday because I was like, oh cool, it's my birthday, it's something that means something to me. It's Texas Adaptive Sports on Facebook.
Okay.
Don't go there yet. There's nothing there, but
you want me to link it anyway?
You can. Somebody actually commented today. They go, "No content," and I was like, I commented back.
Just put Deadleg up there. Is it coming soon?
I commented back. I was like, I apologize, and not these words verbatim. Apologies. I didn't think it published. I was taking the group name, and I didn't hit publish yet. So I was like, all right, cool. This is gonna be my group, but I'm gonna do it later. Apparently it published and I have 14 members and there's no content. So he had a valid point. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. So, but the deal with that is there's so many different organizations and I'm not trying to mimic anybody. I don't want to make money, pretend to be Texas regional sport, Texas Parasport. There's Morgan's Wonderland. There's so many different ones. They don't. I mean, yes, they do share each other's posts sometimes, but not, really.
Right.
Some people know about each one. Some people don't. Well, my group, I want people to be able to post those types of things because if they see it before I do, post it in there, and that way there's all the adaptive stuff, because we don't have that. That's a group that was available. Texas Adaptive Sports. Why is it available? Because nobody's taken the initiative. Now there's other ones. There's amputee sports groups, but this is all inclusive. This will be for CP. This will be for short stature. This will be for everything.
And Texas Adaptive Sports is a common terminology in that field.
No, I mean, I just more or less I've seen,
but it encompasses more than a certain.
Yes, I mean, so it'll be every sport. Every sport will be there. It's not going to be just me posting my tennis stuff. That's not what it's about. It'll be any type of adaptive program, whether it be for wheelchair, standing, this, that, or the other. I want it on there so that people can, have a central location to see it. And if I see it first, then I'll post it. And because I'm online often, just scrolling, looking for some kind of event. Maybe I won't do it, but I could share it.
Somebody else could do it.
There's so many events in Dallas that I'm not going to drive to Dallas, but now I get to start seeing people. All right, you're in Dallas area, so I'm going to share that kind of stuff. Excuse me. So,
do you have to be a Texas resident to participate in these events?
I think those are just if you want to be involved. So you don't have to be really a Texas member if you want to go to those events. It's a matter of just seeing it,
signing up.
That's why it's more just being inclusive. I haven't really run across negativity in my realm of what I do. Because I'm an amputee, what are you going to say? There's nothing, so I don't really worry about it. Just like that that group, I'm not worried about it yet, unless it gets too big, and But it's just about spreading information as much as we can for people like me, for traumatic injuries, then also veterans, and then people born with it. I do feel there's a missing link with people like myself. That's what I'm really truly trying to bridge is civilian who has a traumatic injury. Where do we go to find this? We need, usually it's our doctors. Our doctors are supposed to tell us, or our leg guys.
Your leg guy.
They're supposed to tell you. I mean, you would figure, but
they might not know, or they don't care. Some of them.
But you would think
medical care these days is
right. So I mean, we have to kind of. We have to do it ourselves, and I have to go find people like me. I have to go find people that are, wanting it, and that's why I'm so involved with New Braunfels Local and New Braunfels in general. I post on the other groups as well, just to spread it. Sometimes it's a hit. Sometimes people like it, and they're like, hey, they ask. Sometimes they don't. It doesn't matter, as long as the information's there. Because, also, I when I post these businesses. I do post on there, whether they're wheelchair accessible, because a lot of times when we're searching in these groups, or that people yell at us to do, hit the search button.
Right.
So when you hit that search button, you can search wheelchair. And you can search that in New Braunfels Local, and you'll find those places that I've, put like, hey, it is wheelchair accessible. It is adaptive. It is this. I put those keywords so that way the adaptive or the wheelchair disabled community can search it and find it.
Do you find that there's a larger community of amputees in the San Antonio, New Braunfels area because of the military bases?
Yeah,
that's all the military families and stuff around.
That's the majority. That's where the majority of it is.
There just no kind of central place for meeting up for that kind of thing and online. Like a community.
There's a lot of
trying to build
random groups.
So centralizing them all is the plan.
It's
or just centralizing some people to.
Well, see, those groups more or less talk about things that I don't want to talk about. I mean, it's not what I want. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about, hey, your issues with your. Excuse me. your issues with your limb. How do we fix this? I don't want to really talk about that mostly. I want to talk about the sports side.
Gotcha.
And getting activities, getting you out there, because there's so many groups as it is to talk about, hey, well, I'm having this issue. And I mean, you have issues and you need to know how to fix them.
Right.
Those groups are great for that.
This is a sports group.
Yes. I can help with things like that, and I do comment, and I do try to like just say, hey, this is what I've experienced, yada yada yada. But I don't want that. I want it to be about getting out and active and getting people a central location to find all the events in Texas. I don't want to put these outside tournaments. I'll mention them from time to time, but that's only, hey, if we get going and these people, they're telling me if they want this, or hey, can you add Oklahoma? Whatever, I don't know. I mean,
if you live in Oklahoma, you can start.
Right. I mean, we have apparently, like I said, I have 14 members.
Right.
I didn't even know I had that, but I have 14 members.
Welcome, 14 members.
Yes, thank you.
If you see this video,
thank you, and apologies for not posting. And I also hadn't posted a lot because I'm not saying I was in a low, but I was when I was back from Italy and sick and just not feeling well, I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling like posting. I wasn't
well, you went from an extreme high
right
to it being over and you going, now what?
Right. And it's not that it was like a mood change. I'm back in the States.
Just normal life.
It was just now my leg doesn't fit. Now this and
back to reality.
I don't want to post content of or I can't post the one that I want to. So it was really difficult.
Yeah.
But now, getting back into it is my leg fitting helps so much. Attitude and everything, but I need to learn to stay in the middle, even when my leg's not fitting right. There's nothing I can do. My wife will sit there and tell me, well, I mean, best you could, we'll try tomorrow. Sometimes I don't have that option. I have to wear it, and it, does that damage, but I try my best, and that's all we can do. I mean, we're like the people in that signed that leg. We're all adapting to what we're dealing with every day. And
I like it. I like that term, Texas Adaptive Sports. Adaptive Sports.
It's a good
term.
It seemed to click for me because that's why. Why?
There's no negative feeling towards it. It's just, hey, you got to adapt, and that's life.
For sure.
It's good. I like it.
Let's see. What else?
Coming back from Italy, we covered that.
Yep.
Let's give the people something to leave with.
Well,
What's your biggest takeaway from that Italy experience? If you go back and think of what you learned while you were there, it doesn't have to be just one, but what is the biggest thing you learned that you can go forward with, not just in getting back to that tournament and doing it again, but in life in general?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's the consistency. So one thing I've noticed, or I've noticed so many, but this in particular, with these adaptive sports that I've had the pleasure to be involved with, whether it be, throwing a shot put, throwing a discus, I've seen smiles. I told y'all last time, I think, right? It was just the smiles on everybody's face.
Yeah.
Going over there, this is a competition now. This is serious. We're playing for money.
Yeah.
You still see the happiness. You still see everybody getting along. Yes, on the court you get serious. There's points, there's moments, but everybody's happy.
There's emotions. Yeah.
There's so many good attitudes. You can't put the competition, compare that. It's just in general, everybody there's happy. And we're
from all over the world.
All over the world.
How many countries were represented?
26, 27, something like that. I mean, so many. So, there's so many language barriers.
How many participants?
It was supposed to be 107. We were just under, I think. So I mean, it was a lot. And the year before, it was only 30. Because there was a tournament there the year before I didn't know about. Either way, year before it was only 30.
It's growing.
Now it more than tripled in just a year. I was one of 4 Americans. I mean, but so the biggest takeaway is just the happiness that these people feel with what they have. There's a guy, if you take all of his prosthetics away, he has 1 leg. Wow. But he's so happy. He's out there doing what he loves. He's playing tennis in Italy. Amazing.
We're missing 3 limbs.
3 limbs. So, I mean, and then you come back. You come back to the States, and you have grumpy people. You know, that, it hits me because it doesn't make sense on why you're miserable. You have everything. You can, sorry.
No, you're good.
You can go work. You can go play tennis. You can go do whatever you want, and you're somehow grumpy. And all of these other people, I'm in, good shape compared to some. Yes, I have my moments. Trust me. Everybody's seen a moment where I've been irritated or upset.
Sure.
I'm going to get that way.
We're human.
I am not perfect. I will never say that. Trust me. But I try to be good. I try to do good. And the main thing is trying to stay happy, because nobody can take that from you. You just stay happy. Something happens, I'm staying happy. That's the biggest thing that you could take away from a tournament like that I could take, that it was just consistent for me to relearn, is just the happiness and joy that these people feel compared to everyday people with everything.
Yeah.
And I want to be like that. I want to be like them. That 8-year-old boy who...
Come on.
He's got 1 arm and playing tennis and smiling about it. Made me run, by the way, and won the point.
What's his name again?
Filippo.
Filippo?
Yes, yes.
Nice job, Filippo.
So, I mean...
Every day's a blessing.
Yes.
And people take that for granted.
I forget that even. I mean...
I did too. I still do, but I really did for a long time.
But I do forget it, but look what I do. I walk around with this, like I said, as much as I can. Some days I do, or some weeks I do it 3 days a week. Some days I get to do it almost like 4 or 5. If I'm hitting up enough businesses. Some days it's like I'm going to 1 because I have other things that I'm doing.
Sure.
But I'm always talking about it. I have to say my story so many times. And I remember back when I first got hit and I would talk about things and talk about the accident. Some people would tell me, hey, you need to write it all down. You need to write it all down so you don't forget it. And I'm like,
I'll never forget it.
I won't forget it.
And then you forget it.
No. That stuff is burned.
Yeah. Well, we can get it on video. But your story still needs to be told.
Right. But see, that's the beauty of it, is it's burned in my memory so well that I constantly, and I repeat this story so many times, and it's not because I want to talk about myself.
Right.
And
just got to bring awareness.
That's the big thing that I hope people don't take, is I'm not trying to be selfish and talk about myself. But
and I don't think we're presenting it that way.
Yeah.
That's never my intention either for this.
And most people, because I'll be apprehensive and I'll say, I hope I'm not. No, you're not.
No, this is your story to tell. And I want you to come in here and give updates and tell it more.
Yeah.
Anytime you want.
But
anytime there's something new, you're welcome to come back in here.
It's just so fun. And I am outgoing. I'm not, but I am. And that's weird. I'd rather be home. And let's be honest. I would rather, go to work.
Yeah.
I would rather be with my boys. I'd rather be with my wife. I would rather be doing so many other things than talking to people, because I'm really not outgoing. I don't want to go do all that stuff. But because it's a purpose, because it's a reason, you
because
would
it
never
helps Filippo. People like Filippo.
You would never know. I'm talking to people, and you would never know that I don't want to be there. But in that moment, I'm loving being there because I'm able to talk to them. And so don't get that wrong either. You know, I don't want to be there, but not in that bad sense. It's just I'm having so much fun talking to y'all about this type of stuff. It's not a job to me. It's, you know, it's part of the nonprofit that I'm trying to do, but it's fun. Then I go home, and I'm able to just do this type of stuff and have fun.
And you know, you're setting yourself up for when your kids are going to grow up, and just like me, who just we're now empty nesters officially now, as of a week ago. And then if what you're doing now is laying the foundation and doing the work for what's going to become your full-time mission once the kids are gone and moved out of the house and on with their own lives.
Yeah. And
you've got a lot of great time to ramp that up too, and then boom, you could turn this into a huge foundation.
Well, the really cool thing is talk with the boys. I mean, if you ask them, why do I walk around with Deadleg? They know about Where's Deadleg Wednesday. They know about it. They take part in it. If you ask them, they say, so you can meet people and spread awareness, and you know, so they could do sports
and you're
too.
modeling that behavior for them to go out and make a difference when they're grown.
Excuse me, sorry.
You know, you're just leading, but your kids are seeing it
right
in real time.
And that's because, again, the whole thing is doing. And I think a lot of people talk, and they talk and they talk and they talk. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this. They don't do. Well, here's a very important thing that I'm very purposeful on what I do. And there was a point when I was in Italy, I was talking with everybody there, of course. And one of the things I was saying was, you know, y'all need to go back I was telling them you need social media first off. Some of them didn't have it. And it's not that I'm trying to push them to do it. It's just what I told them was, it's useful. You need to show what you can do. You're amazing. You're awesome. Look at what you're doing. Show them a recording of what I did of them. Post that. Because people are going to look to people like you. You know, I'm out there for above knee amputees. If they want to, they can see me. You're this. If you post that, they get to see it, and they get to, you know, see people represented in their category. And so it was so awesome. Some people right there on the spot are getting Instagram, getting Facebook, and it was, you know, we connected. It was super cool.
That's awesome.
But then I told them, I said, when you go back, talk to a coach, see if you can get training for free, you know, or at a discounted rate. One of the things I told them I'm going to do is talk to a country club over here in Texas. I live right by it. I think they have the opportunity to make something that they have in the Midwest and in Maryland. The JTCC is a very awesome center. They have, it's adaptive tennis, all kinds, I mean, regular tennis, everything. It's all inclusive. And they're like paving the way for all of this.
That's great.
It's super neat. I love them. Carl out there, he's out every tournament there. And so anyway, I wanted to see if New Braunfels, there's a place out there, and it's called Nukes. John Newcomb's Tennis Center, or Tennis Academy. Tennis Academy, yes.
I've heard of that.
So I went there as a kid. Del Valley, we would go there for a week. It was expensive. But you spend a whole week there playing tennis, eat, sleep, drink, you know, everything. It's there playing tennis. So
you're there to get your money's worth.
I made a point to everybody there, like, I'm going to try to get them involved. I want to see if they will. And it caused me to like comment on Facebook. I saw a post of the new director at Nukes for adults, and so I commented, and he messaged me, and we started talking back and forth while I was in Italy. And I said, hey, well, we need to meet. I don't want to do it on a call. I want to meet and talk about what what my vision is and what I would like to see. And we ended up meeting, and we talked about doing lessons there. So I have another coach, Kyle Hulls. It's Hulls Tennis.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of Kyle, but we drive to San Marcos, meet halfway. So I train with him, and then I also train with Max McDullen at Nukes. So I go ahead and train out there once a week. And then he said, hey, well, let's look into what we can do. I mean, obviously we're not going to go full blast and do like a program, but we're going to start small and talk about a weekend, an adaptive weekend. And then, maybe we can grow into programs there for adaptive. But, hey, I said in Italy I was going to do it. And the first thing I did was start talking to him.
Good.
Unfortunately, I got sick when I got back, and our meeting delayed. But we met up, and it's good. So it's just a matter of talking, and I can talk. I'm, sometimes it's not that great. Yes, I know.
No, you're fine. We're good.
Sometimes I may not have the words. Sometimes I stumble. But in general, I know what I want, and I know the purpose is good, and I'm not lying. So it's easy to talk about it for Filippo and for everybody in the future, for Danny. For Danny, he's doing his own thing and is doing amazing. But if I could help in any sort of way to help him, great. I don't have to be up there. I don't have to be on the cover. Footnote would be awesome. I helped. I had a leg in there.
I had a leg in it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I just want to take part.
Right.
The whole point is competing, and I love competing. Being able to show others that you can still do it.
Right.
Getting up as early as I do to go play tennis this morning to then come over here.
I just can't stop thinking about how happy it probably makes those kids to be able to do that in these kind of programs, and to be able to see adults that are doing it and showing them how to do it and paving the way for them. They're just, get you all warm and fuzzy inside.
Right.
Try not to cry here.
And that's it, is seeing the kids' faces.
Yeah.
Their faces are, when they light up, it's so awesome. Like, that's why we do it.
Well, and that's probably how you lit up when you walked into that, tournament in Italy. You're like, this is what it feels like with those kids.
That's how it felt back last year in December. The first tournament. Excuse me. Then, yes, going into Italy, that's a step up because, now you paid a lot of money to come here.
Yeah.
And I, again, I had a sponsor that helped, but I still had to pay the rest my way.
Yeah.
And this is real. This is a thing. We have I don't know. Y'all can tell me what you think. I would really like to know. Are we professional? Are we not?
I say yes.
I have my thoughts. My thoughts are yes. That Italy tournament, if you went there and you competed, you're spending your own hard-earned money to get there, to play for money that's less than what you spent. That didn't matter. If they were paying us $20, I'd be happy if we won. That's awesome.
Still playing for money.
You're playing. And there's going to be a series. There's not just one. Now there's one in the United States. There's two in the United States. There's one in France. So I think, yes, we're professional. It's not that others think that, we're not. They just don't want to say it. Yeah. They don't want to say it because, whatever apprehension they have. But here's the whole thing. If we don't believe we're professionals, we don't believe we're able, or whatever you want to put at the end of that. If you don't believe you're X, you're not gonna be.
Right.
How are you, the viewer, gonna believe that we're professional when we don't believe it ourselves? I believe we are. We are the top of our class. Just because a able-bodied person can beat us doesn't mean we're not professional. And actually, there's Alex Hunt. He was ranked in the world. He's, a arm amputee. You won't beat him. If I had 2 legs, I wouldn't get a game. If I had 2 legs, I don't think I would have got probably a point. Maybe with my serve. Maybe, Alex. He's amazing. Amazing. Seeing that high level of tennis, professional. We are. Talia, woman, had to play Alex in the finals. She got second. She's an above amputee as well. She's amazing. With 2 legs, I probably wouldn't get but a couple points. I mean, she's awesome. That's the level that, it'll get to that all around, but we're all just starting. We're all just getting going. And, I didn't train that hard. I am now. I want to get that good. I want to be that
taste of it.
So now I'm training twice a week with tennis, 3 days a week with swimming. I mean, I'm going to try to put in the work to earn a spot, to try to beat. And I said earlier, my sights are on Danny. The only reason why I said that is because he beat me the first time I ever played him.
It's coming for you, Danny.
And I look up to him. He's younger than me, but I want to give him a good match. So it's not in a bad way. I'm coming for you. No, I want to give him a good match.
Right.
So that's like my goal is to be able to beat him, of course, but I want to be able to hang and give him a good match.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be there longer than I am.
It sounds like there's good camaraderie and with all you guys.
Yes.
And ladies that are participating and kids.
They're
it's like one big family.
Just like any sport. There's always one. There's always, yes, but
they're always the outliers who
are we negative to that person? Do we even know who that person is? That person changes per person. It's all perspective. So no, you're not going to single out any particular person.
It's true. It's all subjective.
The one thing that matters the most is I love every single one of them. At the end of the day, playing them, I want to win. But I love all of them. Seeing everything that they're doing.
Yeah.
I said something to my wife before I left. There's 2 guys that have been announced that they're going to U.S. Open to be a part of that tournament. And U.S. Open. Professionals. And the wheelchair. And now parastanding will be there.
In New York, U.S. Open?
In New York.
Wow.
So there's
How about that?
8 of the parastanding players that were selected. 3 in the United States. Okay. Was I one? No, I wasn't one.
Not yet.
And was I expecting to be one? Oh, so here's the conversation I had with my wife. I told her, I said, I'm going to be honest. What do you think? Do you think I'm, upset or whatever? And, she was like, she knows me. Like, no, I'm not upset that I didn't get invited. I just started. I started in November of last year, December of last year. There's so many people that played before me that have done so much for this sport. Those guys, I mean, they went to Wimbledon, by the way. There was guys that went to Wimbledon, Alex and Adam Hills, Matt, and I'm so sorry. But so they went to Wimbledon. Now these guys are going to U.S. Open.
Big leagues.
I shared Danny. Danny's going to U.S. Open. He went last year. Koya's going, so I shared Danny's going.
Is the French Open doing it too, and the Australian?
Australian is going to. I'm pretty sure they were awesome last year. They did an all abilities day, super cool. So they will probably do it again.
And the French could do it on clay.
Yeah, right? More than likely. But so I plan on sharing every one of these guys when they announce it on their pages. I want to share it because that's exciting. Yes. I'd love to be there. I'd love to be there. But it's not my time. Maybe next year. Maybe the year after.
Still got time.
It doesn't matter. I'm 40. I plan on playing. Shun is well older than me, and he beat me third set tiebreaker.
Tennis is one of those sports you can continue to play well as you age because you're just in such great shape, and as long as your knees hold up, and your elbows hold up.
Shot selecting.
So
it's knowledge.
A lot of it's strategy too, and power.
Right.
And straight up power, especially on your serve. You could play for a while.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're playing with one leg.
Yeah.
We're playing with we're adapting to what we have to do, and I'm excited to see those guys do what they're doing, and one day we'll be in the Paralympics. One day. This year is not our year. I mean, it's too quick. 28. I think even that might be too quick.
That's some time.
It's a lot of work. I mean, to essentially create a sport and then have enough players. You have to have enough players. Will wheelchair players stand up? There's some players that can. Will they put a prosthetic on, or will they stay in
a lot of logistics involved?
Yeah. And two, where's the money? Is it worth it to start playing para-standing tennis? If you were a wheelchair player getting certain things, is it worth it to go to para-standing? For me, the answer will always be yes. And for my wife, whenever I ask her, hey, can I go to this tournament in North Carolina? Yeah. It'll always be yes. It's just a matter of getting out there and doing it, and getting sponsors. I have 1, 2, 3. Well, this one doesn't really count. I have 2 spots, and then maybe this one, but I have 3 shields that are going to be fresh and ready, available for sponsors for these tournaments.
About game shirt logos or anything? Or?
Yeah, I need to make shirts, and again, my car is kind of one of those things. My car is a mobile sponsor. I drive around talking to people all day, so if you want to have your business on my car, if it's a monthly thing, whatever it is, but really it's getting to these tournaments and being able to show others that we can still do it. And if I get to go to these tournaments, I get to post about them, I get to put more content out there for people to see. Maybe my leg falls off again. Maybe I find a solution for something. Like right now I'm dealing with sweating issue.
Yeah.
I think I just found a solution for it for the time. Maybe I can, play in a tournament and I know, oh wow, that didn't allow my leg to fall off. It didn't allow me to sweat. It didn't do this. So now I get to actually help others by showing them what works. So there's a give and take. I'm gonna have to take a lot of time out of my day, out of my week. I train a lot. It's a lot of training for a 40-year-old man with one leg, with 2 kids, with a wife, with a job. I still train. And there's people that, what'd you do today? You didn't do anything.
I don't understand how people can just do nothing.
Yeah.
But it happens way too often.
All of these people get out there and work. All of these people on that leg just crush it every day. In pain, sometimes not, but it's pushing through. It's getting through and not letting something limit you. And all of these people right here have just excelled.
Put that towards your camera. There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll probably have to take it off. Well, because if I want to go wakeboarding with it, it's probably not meant for that. But I'll keep it on there as long as I can.
So look for Deadleg.
Yes, we'll be out at TSR at some point, and
Texas ski range.
If you see it, so when I'm out in town, if you see me, you can stop, talk to me, take a picture.
Come say hi.
Yeah, I have a...
Post it on Facebook, share it with your friends.
Actually, there's a bite mark on here. So there's a little...
From a dog?
Right, oh, no, that's
that
Cedric.
A 4-year-old?
That's Cedric Delmas. He, one of my Frenchies, he put it in his mouth and was holding it. I mean, that's heavy. And he was holding it in his teeth. So,
wow.
Yeah, crazy. But no, this has all been just amazing, and we need the help. We need the help, and the little help that I need to help spread it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can get the help on those shields.
Yeah.
I mean, I was lucky enough to make it to USTA, their website, and so that's the thing. It's not just, hey, I'm wearing it around town. Yes, people get to see it, but USTA on the website, I had that shield. They put a picture, and it was my picture, and I had that stuff on, so you could see Texas Ski Ranch. So I mean, I know it's something small. It'd be something that you could put in your office. Right. Look, our company was in Italy. Like those, it's neat. It's neat to say, I guess. Hey, is that worth $100? Is it worth $150?
We need to make little miniature like bobblehead type things of these to where this wobbles.
Oh.
Instead of a bobblehead, it's a bobble leg.
We had a company that was looking. He does fishing lures. Big Booty Bait Co.
Big Booty Bait Co.
It's a hook.
Big Booty Bait Company.
And it has a big booty. So I need to get back with them, but we were talking about something with Deadleg. A lot of the stuff is going to be Deadleg involved. I mean, my nonprofit it has to do with Deadleg, and I don't mention that too much because I haven't officially
We'll
launched
get there on
it.
the next one.
But this is what's kind of started it. It went from a paperweight to a reason to do things the way I do it. And again, there might be some people that don't like it or think it's weird. I've only had one comment where it's like, it was like, this is not funny.
The amputees that I know, you included, always have a good sense of humor.
Right.
They've just, even the ones that have lost them in war, you just kind of have to go with it. Dark sense of humor a little bit about
pretty
it.
much everybody there had a sense of humor. That's why we're so happy.
Yeah.
We joke about our own disability and so many ways. Like there are so many amputees going to one restaurant. I forget the name of the restaurant, but we're going actually, and in all of other disabilities as well. We're all going to this one restaurant. We're all showing up at separate times, and people are just like, what is going on? And then you have me walking in with the extra leg. And so it's,
He doesn't eat much.
And then we all joke about it. I remember sitting I'm at this table, and then our Japanese crew, they're catty-corner way over there. And I was like, I'm going to put this on my head. And I started balancing it. I won't do it in here. So they started balancing their beer on their head.
Just for no reason.
Just because we're just happy.
Goofy.
And, maybe we get in trouble. It is just so much fun. All of those people, they're fun. Fun crew because they're happy. They're happy to be there, happy to be alive, happy to be more than their disability. Because a lot of times we're
takeaway right there.
Always on, what their disability is. People look at us and judge us and go, oh, this. Whatever the reason they judge us for. But, we're out there playing professional tennis.
Right.
We're out there playing for money and having fun. It's the best thing ever. I mean, absolute best thing. And to see my friends, people that I can communicate with right there on my phone. I could message any one of them.
On the other side of the world.
On the other side of the world.
The great thing about technology.
Going to the U.S. Open.
FaceTime them in Japan.
Yeah. Going to these awesome events, and I know you. I got to message Koya. I didn't post about him yet. I just messaged him. I said, that is awesome.
Lifelong friends, man.
Yes. So it's, I went from a guy who lost his leg, lived in Buda. We're small. Nothing. I work in industrial work to now I have an athlete page. Yes, I know I made it. Anybody
Doesn't
can
matter.
do that.
You're a professional.
But
like,
I have
like your IMDb page. When you're an actor, you go make your own IMDb page.
right. Yes, I have a certain amount of followers that I've been able to acquire. Mostly because of New Braunfels and how supportive that community has been, and I got it on Instagram because sometimes I do silly things, and or whatever. If you take inspiration from it,
right,
great.
Right.
If you take humor, great. Whatever you
above.
take, it doesn't really matter. It's just to get those people that don't know, or maybe you don't like the series that I'm going to do with the issues that I've dealt with. It's informative. It's not something that's going to really grab a lot. I don't expect a lot of views. I don't expect a lot of likes, but somebody could use it.
Right.
Somebody could hear the issues I had, the solutions I came up with,
right,
and then looking back and talking to somebody saying, hey, well, we could have done this, couldn't we? And, oh yeah, so now they have a solution. It'll be out there in the internet
forever.
is forever. Somebody
Unless the lights go out.
Right. Now, who's going to say it? Who's going to be the one doing it?
Yeah.
I can do it. You know what? Even if it's horrible, if I don't talk well, if I do things bad, it's still out there. Maybe
I don't
somebody.
think you have a problem talking well. It's been almost 2 hours.
Well, I mean, as far as like enunciating,
I've never had a problem talking with you for a long time.
But
like an hour in the parking lot at HEB.
Oh goodness. So I mean, maybe I won't do it well, but then somebody can take my video and make it better. Hey, do your thing.
Right.
I'm a voice, and you can make fun of it. You can make it better. Whatever. I don't care. I'm doing my best for a 40-year-old man on social media that I never really thought I would do. Mm-hmm. I do it myself.
I complain about social media a lot just because it started out as a good thing, and then it got overrun by corporations and money and greed and power, and they just wanted to sell advertising and take your data. And it became not fun anymore because everybody started fighting, and they wanted to polarize people. And there are great things about social media, and it does bring people together, and that's what we're trying to do with these podcasts as well, and talking to people like you. And so the goal is to take social media back from all the jerk faces out there.
Right.
Because a lot of those jerk faces aren't even real. They're just trolls instigating problems, and they got a whole room full of phones and laptops and iPads, and they're just going through and messing with everybody. And I'm keeping it as nice and not cussy as possible when I say that, but to overcome all of that negativity on social media, we need stuff like this, and we need to be promoting stuff like that and talking about people like Filippo and Danny and just giving you the voice and the platform to do it is my goal for having these types of podcasts. And you're welcome to come back here and do it anytime. Anytime.
I will say there's one thing that I do that's always at the end. It's always at the end of the conversation. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. It was each one of these people I had the same like banter with. We talked about Deadleg. I end with God. Right. Because certain people, they'll ask you questions and they'll be like, well, how could you be happy through, because I tell them things that happen, everything, but the progression. How could you still be happy? And I'm like, God, there was a reason why this happened. And I would go through the list of things, my truck getting stolen.
That was quite an adventure. Go watch the first episode for that one.
Yes. So many different things that line up to now be in Italy. So I always tell them, like, do you think that just is coincidence? No. Like, there's a reason. There's all of this stuff, and he's in control of it. And he's, if I make that choice to do the right thing, or if I make this choice, you have to make good choices. It's not that, I'm a great person, so all of this is happening. No, I'm a normal person that makes normal decisions. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But my goal is to do good. And what he has put in front of me, I'm trying to do that.
Right.
I'm trying to take advantage and do what he wants. You know, maybe if this is what he wants, I'm loud.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly I could do it. So
I'll give you a place to be loud anytime.
So yes, I mean, even with all of the people there, it ended with God and being happy because I know he's there. I know he's taking care of it. It doesn't mean everything is going to be peachy. It just means don't worry. You know, that's sometimes I do worry, but most of the time it's here. It's that calm. Wait and see. Like, make the right choices and let's see what you got.
I love it. Well, tell everybody where they can find you.
All right,
on
so
social media.
Instagram and Facebook, I made them the same. It's John Zavala Para Athlete. I think from there I have most of the links of where, because I do have YouTube. I haven't posted much on there. I will probably have to post this longer format stuff on there and then clip. So I think that one's Go Gadget Leg.
Does Deadleg have a hashtag?
I do hashtag Deadleg for everything. Hashtag Where's Deadleg on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, hashtag Where's Deadleg. Hashtag
and
Deadleg.
TikTok as well.
Yes, and TikTok
is at Deadleg. I think if I remember correctly.
Yeah, at Deadleg, at Deadleg Tennis. It's one of the two.
Okay.
So yeah,
we'll link to all those too. And if you've made it this far, go follow him on all of those places. And if you're friends with him, family with him, share it, like it, so that we can further the cause that he's got going on here. And we're gonna catch up again soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another 3 hours. Sorry.
That was great.
We need a timer so I can.
Well, I have that giant hourglass right there, but it's only an hour and 32 minutes. So it would have run out a long time ago. So, welcome to the longest podcast I've done yet.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Cheers.
Sorry.
No, it was great. I loved it.